Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, I will read the Malaysian People's Declaration, Solidarity with Kashmir in commemoration 1 year lockdown of siege of Kashmir, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, 8th of August 2020. The people of Malaysia, including all members of Parliament, scholars, and civil societies today, in commemorating the 1 year illegal lockdown of Jammu Kashmir imposed by the Indian government, henceforth declare that we are aware of the abrogation of Article 370 of the Indian Constitution on the 5th August 2019 and its subsequent revocation of the autonomous status of Jammu and Kashmir. We understand the total lockdown imposed on the Jammu Kashmir citizens is cruel and literally against the international law, in contradiction with United Nations Security Council. We are deeply concerned on the inhuman measures taken by India for the past 1 year, in addition to the more than 70 years of Indian occupation since 1947, blocking access to food and medicines, disruption of daily livelihood, closing educational and public institutions. These all also includes the shutdown of internet and land telephone services, enforced curfew, and the prohibition of public assemblies for Kashmiris to express their rights. Kashmiris who have resisted have been put under detention, tortured, and murdered with impunity. With cognizance of the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act passed in Indian Parliament, which divided the state into two union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Conscious of the disastrous impact on the socio-economic livelihood of the people of Jammu and Kashmir as a direct consequence of the 1 year lockdown. Taking note that since majority of political leaders of Jammu and Kashmir are put in detention, Kashmiris have lost their political voice to advocate for their rights. Even statutory bodies to which citizens would go to seek redress has virtually ceased to exist. Particularly concerned that human rights of Kashmir women and child are brutally violated, including arbitrary arrest, forced separation, and sexually abused. Worried that the rights to accessing information for Kashmiris are denied, leading to a near total elimination of Kashmiri people living within the belt. Enraged by the cold-blooded assault of the Indian troops and paramilitary squads using extreme force to crush dissent by extrajudicial killings, injuring and blinding civilians, sexual abusers, torturing detainees, destroying of homes, detention of journalists and political opponents. Noting that the documented report has been released by Kashmir Human Rights Forum, exposing serious devastating impact on the ground, including violation of human rights, including illegal detention and strict restriction on arrest and detention of children through the misuse of the draconian legislation such as the Public Safety Act and the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act to stifle dissent. Frequent closures, harassments and barricades and checkpoints, and restriction on mobile phones and internet connectivity has enormously affected public health and violated the rights of health and medical care. The impact on education has been severe. Indian government's action on violating Kashmiris' rights to education is a major concern on the future of the young Kashmiris. Local economies suffered large losses in every sector, such as tourism and cottage industries, of which many have been forced out of business. Local media is targeted. Journalists are harassed by draconian charges, slapped on them to curtail the exposure of the Indian atrocities against the Kashmiris. The Indian expansion of the military presence in the hinterland and border areas is a clear annexation of the disputed Kashmir territory. Hence, we demand the immediate dismantling of the lockdown in Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian action is which is an illegal siege on the internationally recognized disputed territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The lockdown is a unilateral action by India which violates the UNSC resolution. Number two, normalcy must be resumed by India's immediate action of lifting the siege. We demand for all Indian military forces to be withdrawn from Kashmir. Number three, remaining Kashmir political detainees must be released immediately. All restrictions on freedom of representation and expression must be revoked. Number four, criminal and civil actions against personnel of police, armed forces, and paramilitary forces found guilty of abuses and violence against Kashmiri civilians must be enforced. Number five, the welfare and basic necessities of the people of Jammu Kashmir must be secured. All aspects of their daily livelihood must be restored, and compensation for losses and destructions must be expanded. Number six, we call on the cordon and search operation, which has resulted in civilian death, injuries, damage, and loss of homes must be ceased. The demolition of houses under the pretext of searching for terrorists is strongly condemned. Number seven, guarantee full access to medical care, including the movement of people to get medical treatment in hospitals. Police and paramilitary personnel at checkpoints must stop the harassment of civilians trying to get medical aid and other basic needs. Number eight, restore the internet and mobile services connection. Access to communication within and outside of Kashmir must be re-established. Number nine, reinstate all independent institutions that monitor human rights abuses in Kashmir by Indian forces, such as the Jammu Kashmir Human Rights Commission, to assess the level of compliance with the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Number 10, revoke the reorganization order and the domicile law to reinstate the rights of the indigenous Kashmiris over land ownership, government jobs, and economic opportunities. Stop the demographic change which intends to alter the population profile of Jammu Kashmir. This specifically involves the depopulation agenda by India against Muslim Kashmiris in Jammu and Kashmir. Number 11, restore the normal function of the media, local and international, and allow media access to information on the ground reality in Kashmir. Media must be allowed to report the truth of violations and crimes committed by the Indian troops against Kashmir. Number 12, reinvigorate the right to self-determination for the Kashmiris and implement the related plebiscites following the UNSC resolution number 47. And lastly, number 13, call on the member states of OIC to take concrete actions to voice for a strong demand for India to comply with the international law and to seriously mobilize the Muslim leaders to unite and urge India to stop their oppressive policies against the Muslim population, especially on the demographic change of Kashmir by the Hinduism agenda pursued by India. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Muhammad Amin, for reading the Malaysian People Declaration. Before we end this ceremony, we would like to invite Cikgu